Great guest in studio. Jennifer's here from the EDC. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy overcast Monday.
It's supposed to burn off.
It's going to be a nice. It's going to be a nice week.
Fingers
right?
crossed. You just never know.
That's what the weather guy keeps saying.
Come on, you're supposed to pitch the good things happening in the county, and people are looking at the weather, right? It's dreary once again. Come to beautiful Mason. No.
Don't worry, it's still beautiful. It's just now you don't get the tan.
What's going on? What's the EDC up to?
Well, we wanted to come in and talk about some of the things that we can offer for you.
Sure.
We're set to help pretty much anybody in the county, regardless of whether or not you're a member. So one of the things that we have is called Zoom Prospector. And we've been doing this for about 3 to 4 years. And I think you guys understand that you kind of build your network as you're going. And this is the year really that it seems to have paid off a lot. So it's the opportunity that our local businesses, our local building owners, our local realtors have for us to be able to help them market their property. They might not have the network that they need to be able to sell that brewery
Sure.
or that warehouse, but we do. We've got developers, we've got investors, and we're really here to help you free of charge, to help you get somebody in that building. That's our goal.
How many years have you been doing this with them?
Zoom Prospector specifically, about 4.
Okay. So that to me sounds about right. After the 3rd, 4th, 5th year,
Right.
that's when you really see a switch in the way people are able to access. You know, because the first year you may have 50 likes. By the end of the next year, you may have from there jumped up to 300, and then as it
Right.
progressively gets bigger. Okay, that's cool.
Well, and the work that we do to reach out to those different investors, they're not necessarily out there kicking the tires. So right now, they're looking at opportunities that are constantly, coming to them. And how can we get our area in front of them? How can we showcase what it is that we have so that they're saying, oh, look at that.
So you mentioned a brewery, and so I'm guessing the Grove Street, Grove Street property here off Grove is one. I remember seeing photos that you guys took about this opportunity is here, and I saw a lot of people sharing it locally with other folks who you know, say, we should do this or that, the other thing, and how do you craft those types of posts to, one, show up on the feeds of people who would have the opportunity to invest in that, and 2, just in the general public so it doesn't get lost in all the other postings?
Right. Well, I think the Grove is a good one because it's a unique property that we have here. So it kind of stands out on its own.
Yeah.
We talked with the business owner. He wanted help marketing it. He didn't have anything really generating interest on it. And so what we do is we do a little bit of kind of market research. What are people that are looking at this property wanting to hear about it? Do they want to know that that one came fully equipped? Do they want to know that there's a restaurant or commercial kitchen attached to it? Really kind of looking at what those highlights of the property are. If you're looking at warehouse space, how big is that warehouse space? If you're going to put something up there with no square footage, chances are you're not really going to get any interest back to it. If you're looking at the county's surplus property out on Highway 101 and 102, that's a great property for development, but what utilities are to it? What is the cost per acre of that property? Not just what the total cost is, but what is the improved amount for it? Being able to really answer those questions are what's going to move you forward with an investor, or being able to get that information very quickly.
What's going on with the proposed hotel, kind of boutique hotel in Allen? Do you know anything about that? The one that's going to... We moved in a year ago, and there were artist designs of what it's going to look like and everything, and it doesn't look like anything's been done. Is that like on hold, you know? Or?
I want to say that there's an issue with some shoreline permitting that I believe they're working through. Is it going to happen in the next year? I can't give you a timeline on it.
Oh,
but
yeah.
There's definitely still interest in it moving forward, and there's still work that's happening that's moving forward. But I do think that they're kind of realigning what it is that they need to have ready in order for it to move. Because that one's pretty unique. It is very close to the water.
Yeah.
So you've got to make sure that all of that is in is in place first.
Sure.
Yeah.
If you know about those potential issues that may pop up, when is an appropriate time to share that? In a sense where if I go, man, this property is pretty awesome, and I start kind of seeing myself building a business in there before I kind of, I don't know, make the call or a little bit down the road, and then all of a sudden go, oh, by the way, there's this potential for an issue. I mean, you don't put that on the initial post or anything, do you?
Not on the marketing side of it. So this is where your realtor comes in, or the research. If you're not going to use a realtor, the research that you need to do for your due diligence on the piece of property.
Yeah.
Have there been any findings? Is that issue that happened with ecology all worked out? If you have a realtor, you're a little bit buffered because they're there helping you do all of the research. But if you're trying to go it on your own, then, and you've narrowed it down to a specific building, then it's very important to be able to do your research. And anything that happens on a building is public document, so you can access that, whether at the city or whether at the county.
So if a place comes to you and says, boy, we saw this, who do you pass that on to? The realtor whose name is on the listing, or do you rotate, or?
Like if we have an investor who's interested?
Yeah.
It really depends on the type of relationship that we have, who we're marketing for. If we're marketing it for the building owner, then they've given us access to come in, look at the building. At the point of that we have an investor, it depends on who their contact information is that they've given us. Like the county property, we've done site tours, very specific, and once they get close to the purchasing side of it, then they'll move on to the realtor. But those touchstones and those utility questions, all of that's things that we can answer beforehand.
You can always choose Mason, and we encourage you to do so at choosemason.com. Jennifer, good to see you.
Thanks for having me in. I appreciate
Thanks
it.
for coming.